This is the Pin Power Podcast with your host, Kara Chase. Every week, Kara teaches you about Pinterest marketing, online entrepreneurship, and productivity. How-tos and insider tips to build a strong foundation for marketing your business. You can read more about each episode over on the blog at karachase.com. Now, let's dive in.
Hey, thanks so much for listening in today. If you haven't already, click subscribe to listen to the Pin Power Podcast wherever you tune into your favorite podcasts. You want to get started learning to use Pinterest for your business? Go to karachase.com/learn and get started for free. Today, we are talking about digital spring cleaning and how to clear the clutter like a CEO. Clutter, mental clutter, visual clutter, physical clutter, emotional clutter. There's so many kinds of clutter and they all drag us down. Regardless of what form it takes, clutter saps our energy and determination, both key traits for being a successful small business owner. The sneakiest form of clutter we deal with on a day-to-day basis is electronic and digital clutter. What does that mean? It's the full email inbox of sales and marketing, the content-filled newsfeed, the overstuffed bookmarks bar, and the files taking over your desktop screen. They are all little pings for our attention, whether we realize it or not, and keep us in multitasking distraction mode instead of focused priority mode. I know you know that scattered, frustrating feeling. It's the one where you sit down at your desk in the morning and sift through the latest round of emails, read an article or two, go down the rabbit hole of Facebook, jump on a webinar, make a phone call, create a graphic or two for social media, and on. Until the end of the day, when you feel like you've been ping-ponging around all day and been in super busy mode, but haven't actually accomplished anything. I don't know about you, but that leaves me feeling tired and unsettled. How would you feel if you sat down at your computer in the morning and felt focused and ready to take on your priorities? Pretty good? Energetic and like a total entrepreneur badass? Yeah, that is the feeling we want. Most of what vies for our attention has to do with emails and digital or internet content. The good news is this is a totally fixable problem. I love nothing more than a quarterly unsubscribe and delete session, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it so you can take your day back. Let's start with the biggie, email. Privacy and consumer protection laws have made it so much easier to unsubscribe and report unwanted emails, so use them. I might sign up for a newsletter with the best of intentions, but I often find after a few emails that they are either 1, not adding value to my life, or 2, not right for my focus and priorities at the current time. The easiest way to know if this is the case is if a particular newsletter remains unopened day after day. For example, I love Gary Vaynerchuk and I think he's brilliant and insightful. Gary produces so much content that I can't keep up. Between the YouTube videos and the subsequent content, I was getting multiple emails and notifications a day. While I think his content is valuable, I would rather be spending that time working on my business instead of hearing about his business. Nuzzle is a great example of a tool that was built to try and help people consume content more efficiently. The reality is that the notifications and emails from them were so numerous I was constantly getting distracted by the latest article about social media marketing. When I want to know what's going on in social media, I'll go to my Feedly collection or any RSS feed collection of carefully selected blogs and news sites and read up on it. There are many email apps and overlays that work with Gmail and Chrome that are designed to help you manage and designate your overflowing inbox. This is the same as buying more containers to corral all your stuff, instead of getting rid of the junk you should have gotten rid of years ago. If you declutter instead of just organizing on top of organizing, you won't need to figure out how the hell to manage all of it. I make it a daily habit, which does take practice at first, to unsubscribe from any emails that don't provide value or aren't right for where I'm at in my business. You could also use an app like Unroll.me. Contrary to most people's habit of diving into their emails first thing, I leave this for my end of the day wrap up. If there are emails left in my inbox that I know I'm not going to open anytime soon or don't really apply to me, I unsubscribe without mercy. What you'll find after doing this for a few weeks is that your email inbox starts to become a place where only relevant, useful, and money-making emails land. This is a powerful place to be in the fight for your business. Imagine you open your email in the morning and you only see 1 or 2 newsletters that you actually love to read, notifications of customer purchases, client inquiries, and conversations with peers and collaborators. Amazing, right? Totally achievable if you're honest with what adds value and diligent about unsubscribing from everything else. Other action steps to consider to declutter your emails are 1, label and archive everything, and 2, empty your spam and trash once a week. Here's an update for you. I wrote a follow-up blog all about cleaning up and simplifying your email labels and inbox, and I will link you up in the notes. The second biggest area of digital clutter is your bookmarks bar. Your internet browser bookmarks is another wasteland of maybe someday kind of sort of useful crap. Have you ever tried to find a bookmark only to be smacked in the face with so many that you get overwhelmed and try to re-find it by searching on Google instead? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? I had so many old and pointless bookmarks in my browser, I can't even tell you. It was downright ridiculous. Links that didn't work, old content, old subscriptions to apps or software I didn't even use, old client stuff, old research. Does that sound familiar? To be honest, this was an overwhelming task for me because I was afraid of getting sucked into a content rabbit hole by going through everything. So I ate that elephant one bite at a time. Every day, I took on 1 folder in my bookmarks bar and decided if each bookmark should stay, go, or be saved for later. It took me a couple weeks, but I went through every dang bookmark and made a decision about it. When all was said and done, I ended up with a little less than 20% of the bookmarks that I originally had that were saved as keepers. I mean, wow. Pareto principle, anyone? 80-20 rule? I actually took this bookmarks bar process one step further. None of the bookmarks stayed in my browser. I put them in a Google Sheet to be easily referenced should I need them. By making an agreement with yourself that any bookmarks must be put into a spreadsheet instead of clicking on that little browser star, your threshold for what is valuable to save gets much higher. Only bookmarks I have in my browser are the URLs for my business's social media profiles and website, plus any software and apps that I'm currently using for my business. Let's move on to area number 3, your desktop. Like bookmarking URLs, it is far too easy to download and save anything and everything to your desktop. Before you know it, you can't even see your carefully selected desktop wallpaper, and you have no idea where to find anything or even what you have. Confession. I have downloaded the same file multiple times because I had no idea I actually already had it. Uh-oh. Until you get your files under control, take on 1 folder a day. Go through just like you did your bookmarks bar and decide if it stays, goes, or is saved because you know it will be relevant later. Key point. Relevant for later is not the same as saving old ratty towels because someday you might need them. It means it directly relates to something you have on your goals or your plan within the next year. For example, I know that in the fall, I like to do a planning challenge to help people plan their digital marketing strategy. I would save for later articles and PDFs that have to do with running a challenge and/or planning. I would not, however, save PDFs that have to do with starting a membership site or a podcast because those things are not on my list this year. Make sense? I currently have on my desktop the following folders: my business folder, anything relating to the back of house administration of my business, a folder for software and apps instead of saving them all separately on my desktop, a folder for stock photos because I use them a lot, a folder for imported pictures to file. And this is where I dump everything from my camera and my phone to be backed up on a separate hard drive, and a folder for resources and education. That's it. No other icons or random JPEGs or PDFs. As a way to motivate myself to keep my desktop free of clutter, I created a vision board as my wallpaper. If my desktop is cluttered, I can't see my vision board. Once a week, I make sure anything I've downloaded that's sitting out in the open on my desktop is filed away or deleted. It's an empowering feeling to open up your computer and not be overwhelmed with a bajillion icons. Instead, you see a clean work surface, or in my case, my goals and affirmations. Moving on to the cause of so much emotional and visual clutter, your Facebook news feed. This applies to all social media networks, but Facebook is the biggest culprit and has the most users, so it likely applies to you. Facebook has become a minefield since the most recent U.S. election, the upcoming U.S. election, and to be frank, I'm tired of being inundated with nonsense and overly opinionated BS. Fortunately, Facebook has made it easier to unfollow people and businesses so you stop seeing their posts without having to unfriend or unlike and make it awkward. The same applies to Instagram. Again, my unfollow routine is merciless. I do not hesitate if the content, business, or person does not add value in my life in any way. It breeds second-guessing, comparisonitis, and old hurts. All the productivity recommendations of don't get on Facebook were useless to me because, well, my business is on Facebook. I run private groups for my membership in my free communities. So how do I avoid getting sucked down the rabbit hole of cat videos and expertly targeted ads? The News Feed Eradicator for Facebook, which I will link you to. This amazing Chrome extension won't let you see your regular Facebook newsfeed on your desktop. You can still navigate to your groups and your pages, which is what I actually get paid to do on Facebook, but the rabbit hole is no more. If I still want to scroll mindlessly at the end of the day, I do so on my phone on the couch while I'm half watching TV like the rest of the content-consuming population. A note about saved links on Facebook. This can quickly get out of control, just like your bookmarks bar. I use the save feature a ton because when I'm actually scrolling through content in the evening, I'm not working at my desk. At least once a week, I go through my saved links and schedule any content I want to share for business or input the URL into my bookmarks spreadsheet. Let's talk about making it a habit. All habits require a bit or a lot of inertia in the beginning to make them more subconscious decisions than against the grain conscious efforts. Here are a few tips to get that inertia going and make unsubscribe and delete your most powerful weapons. And by weapons, I don't mean hacking away like a loon with a machete. I mean calm and strong, like business jujitsu. Number 1. Create your bookmark spreadsheet in a web-based app like Google Drive so you can access it anywhere. Number 2, create appropriate labels for your email for when you start archiving your inbox. Number 3, schedule 15 minutes per day to start tackling the steps above to get your digital clutter under control. Number 4, schedule time each week with a calendar reminder to clean up your digital clutter and put anything out of place where it needs to go. Doing the above steps consistently for a couple months will rewire how and when you save anything digitally you think you might need. Bonus productivity tip. Try theming your days. Instead of time blocking, which I find too restrictive and not feasible with 2 little kids, I assign a top-level category for each day, like Mondays are marketing, Tuesdays are client work, etc., etc. That way, whenever and however I have time to work, I know what I should be working on. You can get your own editable copy of my ideal workweek template inside Pin Power Method. An awesome Pinterest marketing strategy for business is about so much more than putting up pins. It's about how all your marketing works together for your audience. All Pin Power Method members get instant access to our full training library, plus templates and downloads like the ideal work week to help their businesses run smoothly. Thanks so much for listening, and I will catch you next time.
Want to know more about Pinterest marketing for your online business? Head over to pinpowermethod.com, the first Pinterest marketing membership designed for entrepreneurs. We'll catch you next time, Rockstar.